Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius.
Today, we're going to talk about some very awesome stuff. We have a video about growing taller, a book about that you have to read backwards, and we have a totally awesome guest. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Randal Branham!
All right.
Thank you. Randal is a film composer, so he makes music for movies.
Well, yeah, thanks. Great intro.
Thank you. Well, today we're going to start off with a video game of the week, and this is going to be a stretch.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Today's video game is Every Second Your Neck Grows. So this is the game on the Roblox platform. It was made by Get on the Bus Games. Because it's on Roblox, you're able to play it on PC, Mac, Xbox, and even your cell phone. And it is free. This is the only game by Get on the Bus Games so far.
Are we getting on the bus?
I think so. Well, you start the game and you see a loading screen and you press play when it's done. So you move around and you see like lots of challenges or games, but for some reason, you see your neck getting longer and longer. Well, next you see an easy hole in the wall. This is where you try to fit inside of a hole. You then notice some buttons at the bottom. Shrink, grow, and snap jump. Okay, so easy enough. You go through the hole in the wall and shrink and snap jump over the walls, and then you see a baby statue at the end, and then you collect and earn a win. You can use those wins that you collect to purchase pets that speed up your neck growing. I tried the other challenges like wall jump, crossing across the ocean, and so much more. Well, my neck height is 150.7 studs in the game, and that's so cool. But my dad, on the other hand, has over 1,200 studs and completed the hardest of challenges. It was very hard to walk when your neck is super long because you can't see anything. Well,
I'm speechless.
I give Every Second Your Neck Grows 9 out of 10 stars because it was so much fun to play and compete with my dad. But after a while, the game gets boring when there's nothing to do but wait for your neck to grow longer and talk to your friends.
But you would have a really low voice because the longer the vocal cords, the deeper
that's
your
true.
voice. You could sound like Godzilla or something.
That's actually quite funny. And now it's time for the book of the week, Toilet Bound Hanako-kun Book 2. This book is written by the Yen Press. Let me read to the back of the book. In fact, Randall, would you like to do the honors?
Of course. Thank you. Okay, so Nene Yashiro has made a pact with Hanako-san of the toilet, also known as Hanako-kun, to hold off the curse that has been placed on her. In exchange, she has to help him resolve the problems caused by the school's supernaturals.
Cool. Well, this is an hour book. It's for 6 whole points. This book is for 4th grade and 3rd month. This is an anime book about a girl in high school, and there's 7 school mysteries from her school. This book is different because it's printed upside down and backwards, so you have to read it from the back to the front. Now, we start with a little backstory because we're in the 2nd book. So there's a girl in high school named Dashiro, and he loved the school mysteries, because in the 1st book, otherwise the first rumor that was spread out, was Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, which has a dead ghost inside of the ladies' bathroom. So Yashiro, the only one interested in the school mysteries, decided she would try out the rumor, so she did, and now has tied her fate as Hanako-kun's assistant and willing to help him destroy all the Yashiros of the school mysteries, including his, but his is last for some reason.
It's kind of creepy, but very interesting.
Yeah. So, now it's been a couple of days, and the whole school has an announcement of another school mystery. School mystery number 2, the Misaki Stairs. So the rumor was that if you step on the 4th step of the stairs, you will be teleported into a realm, and you will be turned into a doll by scissors. Now, they find the secret stairwell. Now, all 3 of them step on the 4th step. They were all teleported into the room, and Yashiro, because she was the only one in the middle, of course, she was about to get cut by the scissors. Next, Hanako-kun saves her and destroys the scissors. In front of them is a big door, and then they open it. And there's a big telephone, and it keeps asking for different body parts, so they find fake body parts around the room and insert it into a hatch. And then they move on to the last room, where, wait, I think I said a bit too much, but I want you to read the book yourself and figure out what's happening right then and there. Well, I give Toilet Bound Hanako-kun Book 2 8 out of 10 stars because it was a great book, and I can't wait to read the third book in the series. I think people who like anime should read this book.
Yeah.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
Tiberius
sent you.
And now it's time for our interview of an interesting person. Today's guest is going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Randal Branham. Randal's a film composer, so he makes all that exciting music for movies.
Yeah. You could say that.
Okay, so first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
Very fun. Very engaging. I like it. Yes.
Good. Okay, so your role is as a film composer. For my listeners that don't know, can you exactly explain what that means?
So when you're watching a movie, whatever's happening on screen, you create the music that the people in the movie do not hear, but the viewer hears. And so you want to make it work with the scene to bring out any emotion, laughter or sadness, anything that can help deliver the tone of the scene to the viewer.
Okay. So are we talking like 2-hour movies or short films for festivals?
So the films that I've been doing so far, and this I'm working on number 5 right now, these are short films. But I have a full-length feature coming up in the fall.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How short are these films?
From as little as 6 minutes to 12 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's big. Well, I listened to some of your pieces, and they were all using a piano. Do you use a piano for all your music?
I start with the piano. Some of the pieces that I do have full orchestration. Some have just kind of like tones to get you through a scene. And then there's, piano is where you start, but it's not always where you end up. It can be violins, harps, multitude of sounds, whatever tries to get the emotion across.
Okay. So how long have you been a musician?
I would say I started getting serious like when I was in high school. I wanted to play the piano earlier in life, but my dad didn't want me to play it, so he put a padlock on the piano to keep me from it, and all it did was make me yearn for more, and so it just drove my, my ambition.
Cool. So when did you know that this was going to be what you wanted to do for a living?
About 2 years ago, I started doing it. My niece up in New York is a director, and she asked me, would you like to do music for one of my films? And I said, well, sure, thanks for asking. I would, I'll get my feet wet doing it, and got into it, and I'm really enjoying it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So how'd you go from someone that creates music to getting your music in films?
Well, probably the connections, people that people that need it. There's people that need music for their films. And this director that I started with, she's my niece, and she's in film grad school at NYU. And that's where it started.
Cool. So what really drives your passion to this type of work every day?
The need for creation. You've got scenes, you've got a film, you got to You got to create stuff. And the love of creating drives your passion even more. Sometimes you get a little scared. Like, am I going to be able to do something for that? Am I going to be able to come up with something for that? But you just sit and you start working with sounds and types of music. And then before you know it, it's already blossomed into something. And, it's...
Wow. So now, do you make albums for when you're writing for films?
Good question. I'm always working on some of my own songs that I sing and play. And so, yeah, I have an EP that I'm working on right now, but it's kind of put on the back burner while I've got these films that I'm working on. So in between films, I'll go back and work on that a little bit more. So, yeah.
Sweet. So what is the best part about being a film composer?
The best part to me so far is having the director like what you created and actually inserting it in the film. That gives you some satisfaction. Yeah.
Wow. So do you have to play all the music you compose?
Well, you don't have to, but that's the way I do it. That's the way I'm doing it right now.
Cool. Yeah. So how much do you get to make music the way you want to versus having to compose based on what the client is directing?
Sorry for the pause, but I've never been asked this before. But those are great questions. So, first thing that they do is they'll send you what they call a reference music. They find something on the internet or they find something that they like in their own life and they say, I'm thinking about something like this, and then they send it to you. Now, of course, you don't want to copy that, but you want to just get a few ideas of that, like what instruments are they using, or what kind of music is it, where does it go? Is it soft and pretty, or is it bam, bam, bam with lots of percussion and high screeching strings or whatever? So you just go where, first of all, they're using you, so they want your talent. So you give them your version of what you think, or of what that drives you to come out with. And it's always something different. And sometimes it's not exactly what they're looking for, and you try again. So the first thing you come out with is not always what's used. You may have to do a couple revisions or just start over and try something else. It happens.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what is the hardest part about being a film composer?
I'd say that part right there. If it's not exactly what they're looking for. And then, I hate to try to copy a reference music because it just I feel like I'm not being creative. So you try to give it your own personality, and sometimes it works and sometimes you have to try again.
Okay. Well, do you get to see the video of the scene that you're making the music for, or do you just create the music and then they shoot the scene?
Well, you don't do the music first. If they haven't shot the scenes yet, you get the script. And so you see what the story is doing and the way the cameras, all of that's in the script, the screenplay. And sometimes that gives you some great cues. And then sometimes they've shot some of the scenes and they'll send it to me. And you get a better feel when it's much better when you see it than just reading about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot better. So, who can you say was the person that helped drive your passion the most?
A lot of people have driven my passion. Elton John, Tim Rice, Hans Zimmer, Danny Elfman. These were great musician performers who segued into film score work as well. So I love all their stuff. I pay attention to it like crazy.
Okay. Well, what advice would you give to my listeners if they want to grow up and be a film composer?
I would say be at one with your instrument, whatever it is. If it's guitar, if it's piano or cello or whatever it may be the best you can be with it. And because you may be really good, there's always something else you can learn. So I say, and I like the word be at one with. You know, like if I'm playing the piano or if I'm working on something and there's a hurricane and the power goes out, the good thing about the piano or guitar, you don't have to have electricity. You can keep playing while the electricity's out. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, what is the best advice that you've ever received?
The best advice.
And who gave you that advice?
My Uncle Philip told me, just be you. You don't need to try to be somebody else. And that's always stuck with me. Yeah.
Wow. Well, what was the very first job that you've ever had?
Very first job I had was in the summers when I was in high school. I worked at the tax collector's office. I went to take my sister for to apply for a job at the courthouse, and she had to go in and take a typing test. She didn't have a driver's license, that's why I had to drive her. And then she came out to the car and said, "Why don't you go take the typing test? I could only do like 30 words a minute." And I went and I did like 90 words a minute, and I was still in high school, and I got the job. So, you know, all kinds of keys have been my life. Typing on a keyboard or stenograph, because I became a court reporter and did court reporting, which is a whole different kind of a keyboard. And then the music.
Cool. Well, was there anything you learned from that job that helped you be a better film composer?
No, not really.
So what message do you want to tell children all over the world about doing the work that you do?
Oh, wow. What do I want to tell people about what I do? Well, I would think that I hope that who is watching the movie doesn't care who wrote the music, but that they like the music and it works with the film. That's what I would hope.
Makes sense. So what is the craziest thing that has happened while you were doing your passion?
Well, let's see. I don't know about anything crazy that's happened. I don't think so. Nothing crazy.
Okay. Now, my dad said that you used to be a court reporter, which you said earlier. Was there anything cool that sticks out about that job?
Oh, yeah. I dig steno in the way that, you're hitting like 10 keys at a time.
Oh, goodness.
8 keys at a time. You're not doing one at a time like on a regular keyboard. And it's kind of like playing chords on the piano. So for court reporters, if you're a musician and you do, fingering and chord kind of stuff, it goes with the same brain function. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, if you could go back 10 years and tell yourself something, what would it be?
Don't try to be a rock star.
Okay. Well, what was the biggest mistake you ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
I don't know. That would probably get too personal.
That's funny. Well, when you're not working, what do you do for fun?
I like to play ping pong. I like to swim. I like to eat. I like to travel.
Everyone loves eating.
I like going to Europe.
How many times have you been to Europe?
3.
It's a lot of
Just
plane
3.
tickets.
Just 3.
Expensive ones, too. Well, do you play video games? And if you do, what's your favorite one?
Well, I don't currently really play. I'm not a gamer, but I have enjoyed playing Witcher 2 and some of the Mario games.
Well, do you play it on your phone?
No, I play with the Xbox.
Nintendo.
Yeah, and I think it's Nintendo on Xbox. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your favorite book to read?
I have to be honest. I don't really read books.
Me as a child in 6th grade, I kind of have to. I wish I didn't.
Right. But I did read some of Louis L'Amour. He was westerns, and it was science fiction westerns. I thought it was pretty cool. But,
Okay. Now, can you tell me that one story? Remember, this is a kid's show. But that one story, well, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on, you can tell me.
Okay, this is totally being ambushed here. Let's see. That I'm not supposed to tell you about. Oh, it involves a word that I can't say on screen. Let's see. In my court reporting job where I got a word wrong. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Well, let's just say, I'll tell you what the word was supposed to be, and you can figure out what mistake I made. Yeah, the word was abolish it.
What did you say?
And I thought he said abala.
Okay, that's actually kind of hilarious. Give me a second.
It was very embarrassing, but it's fun for now, though.
Wow. Well, is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you?
I love music. I love creating music. I like to have fun with it. I like to be silly, and I guess that's just all a part of creating stuff.
Well, do you have a Facebook or a website for my listeners who want to follow you?
Sure. My first and last name, Randal Branham, and then I have Instagram, same thing, and my website's randalbranham.com. And I'm working on building my IMDb account. So far I've got some awards. I've got two Best Composer awards, and I have a Best Original Score award for the film Acquiescence. And then I have another Best Composer award for the film called Deep Tissue. And so, anyway, yeah, so.
Cool.
So.
Well, what's that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
How long does it take to score a movie?
Well, how long does it take?
I got asked that question at an interview at the Central Florida Film Festival, and it was for this film that they were showing. I said about a day. Well, my ideas took about a day, but it still took days and weeks to get all of editing of the music and getting it to finally sound like you really want it to sound.
That makes sense. Well, can you play me some tunes?
I don't know. What do you want? What are you thinking of?
Oh, that's a classic.
Okay,
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Randall, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
Sure. Yeah. What is it?
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
Thank you so much, Randall, for your help me with Math Corners. This week, we're going to do some more multi-step word problems. My dad is always good at finding new problems for me to solve. Today, we're going to talk about going to a county fair.
Oh, I have a lot of experience at that.
Ooh. So, Tina went to the county fair. Tina purchased 7 tickets when she arrived. She wanted to ride the Ferris wheel, the roller coaster, and the log ride. The Ferris wheel costs 4 tickets, and the roller coaster costs 3 tickets, and the log ride costs 8 tickets. How many more tickets should Tina buy?
8?
Good job, but I'm going to explain it. Well, first, this is a real-world problem because we do know that kids love to enjoy rides at the fair, and they are normally overpriced. But I think she should enjoy the ride she already can afford.
Yeah.
So to solve this issue, you have to find the total of tickets that she will need to ride the 3 rides. Now you take the 4 plus the 3, that's 7, and now you add the 8, and that gives you 15. Now you have to subtract the tickets that she already has. Well, she purchased 7 tickets, so 15 minus 7 is 8. So now she needs to buy 8 more tickets, right?
That's what I figured.
You're right. So, Randall, do you have to buy lots of tickets to ride rides at the fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess. It's been a long time since I bought tickets, but yeah.
Now, Randall.
I think it costs more money for a few tickets.
Yes. Now, Randall, my teacher said that I would use math every day. Do you use math in your work?
Yes.
Okay. How?
Well, if you're editing your notes, you gotta make sure it's to the nearest eighth note, and you gotta count. Eighth notes. There's going to be 8. There's 16. There's 16th notes, and you gotta make it to the nearest notch as time goes. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Randall, for your help with Math Corners.
Hey, no problem.
And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and ability. This week, we're going to talk about leadership. For me, I think leadership is the act of loving what is good, having self-control, and being disciplined. The qualities of leadership are providing guidance and direction, organization, and being a positive influence on others. So I saw leadership with my grandpa. He took me to one of my sponsors, Oak Ridge Gun Range, to practice some shooting. He watched me very closely to ensure I was safe. He gave me direction for the reloading and the turning on and off the safety. He was very clear and organized. He was surprised that I never messed up one time, and I always ensured to follow all the safety rules. He praised me, and I said that I already seemed to know all the safety items from my training at Oak Ridge Gun Range and my dad. He provided guidance and direction as well as positive influence for the people around him. Of all of the Heart of Lion virtues, which is the one that you see the most?
I'm going to need to see that list again.
Leadership, integrity, obedience, and ability.
Integrity.
Why?
Because you got to have the stuff to be the leader.
Yeah, that's true. He is right. But we should always try and be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
Yep.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator bites. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now. Get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com.
And that's our show, folks. I'm going to thank the one, the only, the amazing Randal Branham for being on my show. It has been so much fun talking with you today. I think we learned a lot about what it's like being a film composer and making your own music.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. And do you mind giving your social media and website again?
RandalBranham.com, and Randal Branham is social media.
And how do you spell that?
Randal, just one L, Branham, Branham.
The H is silent.
Yep.
And also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show. And please be sure to visit The Tiberius Show on YouTube and subscribe. Also, be sure to listen to us next week on The Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius!